welcome back everybody. This is going to be episode 8 of my tips and tricks series. In this video I'm going to be going over the application of Alclad. It's a metallizer paint. It is very difficult to work with. It's pretty expensive too. Basically it's metal flake suspended in a paint. I believe it's a lacquer. So it's a metal flake floating in a lacquer. So you'll see the process here as I go through it. It involves a gloss black undercoat. It doesn't really matter when you use. I tend to use the Alclad's their own primer, gloss black primer. You can use gray apparently. I believe it gives it a bit of a duller appearance, but I'm sticking with the black. I want that shiny metal look to it. So you spray the gloss black. You spray the Alclad on it. So this particular one here is chrome. Not too sure if you get a good view of how you can actually kind of see the metal flake floating in the lacquer. You can see how shiny it is just in that picture. Just to get another one, I'll show you one I haven't shooken up yet. That one's almost empty. So is that one. Yeah, I've used a few of these. Well, let's just go with this one for example. This is Airframe Aluminum. And if you look, it looks effectively clear. And there's just the tiniest bit of amount of sort of metal flake just floating at the bottom. You'll see there's not a whole lot of color in there. But when you give it a good shake, you'll see the whole thing. It doesn't take much of the metal flake to fill what's left of the lacquer. So as you can see, it's mostly lacquer, clear lacquer, with just a little tiny bit of this metal flake floating in it. So it's an interesting concept because most metal paint, you just paint. You just paint the metal, silver or aluminum or whatever color you're using onto your plastic, and it looks like aluminum paint. But that doesn't give the proper look for actual aluminum, because aluminum has metal. Titanium, aluminum, steel, whatever color you're doing, it has a shine to it. It reflects. It's got that metallic look to it, and that's very hard to replicate in a paint. So with this particular product, because it's an actual metal flake suspended in a lacquer, you paint the high gloss black background, and then when you paint the Alclad system on top of that black, you have the metal flake reflecting the light to give you the metallic look, but you've also got the black behind it giving it depth. So you have, it's very hard to explain, you have to see it in person, but it makes it look amazing. The final outcome is great. So I will, let's get to the video, let's get to this how-to. You'll see how the paint system works. I don't believe I got actual video of me painting at the paint booth. I believe it's all at the desk, the before, the after. So I'll get these videos posted up. We'll get it done. You can see the process for applying the paint. And then at the end, I'll come back and we'll do a quick follow-up, and I can actually show you what some of the final product looks like compared to a plane painted in aluminum versus an aircraft painted with the Alclad. You'll get to see the difference between the two colors. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight into how Alclad works, and hopefully you guys can go out and give it a shot yourself. I was very afraid to try this. I had never seen it used before. I just kind of went out and did it. Grabbed it, took a chance, dove right in, and I'm very happy with the outcome. So stay tuned. As I said at the end, I will go through a couple of comparisons to show you what it looks like. And here we go, painting with Alclad. And as always, my name is Sean. This is Sean's Aviation. So I'm going to coat everything in a gloss black, let it dry, give it a good solid sort of 24 hours to dry, and then come back and hit it with the Alclad metal later. Alclad has a lot of different colors. I have aluminum. I've got Airframe Aluminum, which is just a slightly different shade. They also have white aluminum, all kinds of different shades, so you can get that different look, patterned look in your airframe. I also have a stainless steel and a burnt iron. So just to give you guys a good example, I have my 1/48 scale F100 here, and I actually used Alclad on the engine area here. So if you can kind of see, it's hard to see. Yeah, cameras don't really pick it up as well, but you'll see where it actually looks highly metallic. So I use stainless steel as the base color, and then the burnt iron to do the darker sort of shaded burnt areas in the middle. So you kind of get a good look of what that looks like when it's painted. The other thing I can show you, so this is my Tamiya 1/48 scale P51 that I did up, and I painted the airframe itself with the Alclad Airframe Aluminum. But because of the way that the P51s were built, the wings were puttied and sanded and then painted aluminum. So if I actually hold this up, you can tell, you can actually see where there's the Alclad metal finish on the flap here, and then the painted aluminum, and then same on the elevators. You can see where the elevator itself, it's a bit of a glare there. Let me just try to get some shade. There we go. That's a good angle to see the difference here. So you can see here, this is a painted, just a straight paint aluminum, and this is the Alclad with the finished metal, and same here. This is the Alclad Airframe Aluminum, and this is a painted aluminum, just a standard Model Master aluminum paint. So you see the difference. There's a much more of a color depth to it. You know, it looks a lot more like an airframe than it does if you just paint it with aluminum paint. So I apologize if my lighting isn't the best here, but you can definitely see sort of the look you get with it. It's much more metallic-y than you would normally get. So again, it takes a bit of effort and a bit of practice. Because it reflects so much light, you have to be 100% sure that you have no marks or nicks in the plastic. So any type of sanding or filling you've had to do, it's got to be perfectly smooth. I would highly recommend, if you have done like an airframe where you've done some sanding, is give it a good primer coat before you do the black gloss. Be 100% sure that there's no nicks, or because any type of scratches will just pop and will make the finish look horrible. So you got to be sure you got a good clear finish. Give it a good coat of primer. Make sure it looks clean. A layer of gloss black, and then the layer of the Alclad. There's a couple of other companies out there that do this. Model Master has a line of metallics. I don't know if they still make them. Testers, Model Master had a huge contraction in their product list a few years ago. But if you find a product that you like, it's a lot of metallizer paints will have that feature with metallic paint, metallic dust or flakes embedded into a base layer. So you find one that you like and play around with it, practice. I definitely recommend practicing before you give it a shot, and you can see what you can come up with. So I'm going to go and get the first layer of black done on this, and I will show you in a little bit what that looks like. Okay, so here's everything a couple of hours later. I got a nice thin coat of gloss black and everything. You always want to mist just some small thin layers at any given time. Don't cake it on. There's probably about, I don't know, 2 maybe 3 layers on each bit. You can see how nice and black everything turns out. So, gonna let these sit for about 24 hours. Maybe longer. We'll see if I have time to get to these tomorrow. If not, we'll let them sit until I have time. But either way, we'll let them sit, we'll let it harden, make sure that paint is nice and set, and then we will hit it with some of that Alclad aluminum. So stay tuned, and you can see how this turns out. And here we are, roughly 12 hours after the application of the Alclad aluminum. I'm going to let it sit probably another 12, give or take, so sometime tomorrow, before I'm going to attempt to even do anything with this. You want to ensure it's got a nice solid cure on it. The nature of Alclad being that the metallic pigment is translucent, and you see the black undercoating. Any thing that happens to the paint. You can't hide it. If you put a fingerprint or a nick in the metallic finish, you can't just overspray. You will always see that that mark, that blemish through the paint. So you want to make sure that you have a good solid base, and if you have any issues, you need to strip and start fresh. So on that note, I definitely recommend that you have quite a bit of experience with an airbrush before you attempt to do Alclad. It cannot be brushed on, has to be an airbrush use, and you need to definitely know what you're doing in order to get a clean finish. So you know, practice with your airbrush, get good at it, be 100% sure of your technique, and then move on to the Alclad. For anybody looking for some basic techniques, if you have not yet, please check out my tips and tricks on the airbrush techniques. That'll give you the basics on sort of how to do airbrushing and what you're looking for in terms of paint consistency and technique and whatnot in order to get clean, good coverage. The bonus with Alclad, it does not need to be thinned. It can be sprayed right out of the bottle, which is a definite bonus. Being such a touchy paint and how easy it is to mess up the application, having it pre-mixed and ready to go takes one of those sort of factors out, and it's all, you know, pour spray. It's all down to your technique and surface prep as to whether it works out or not. So that's my tips and tricks on the Alclad finish. If you have any questions or comments, please by all means leave them, and hopefully you guys have as much success with this technique as I do. So on that note, keep watching, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.